Before we get started, I have a question to ask. Have you heard about the story of Cinderella? Great! Because I have the Indonesian version of Cinderella called Bawang Merah and Bawang Putih. But first, let's get to know each other, shall we? By first sharing our names. My name is Dinda Putri, but you can call me Narrator Dinda because I will be your narrator for today. So before we jump into the train of stories, let's get comfortable. Bring some snacks like popcorns or chips, and let's get into the train of stories and take off. Choo choo! Once upon a time, there was once a girl named Bawang Putih. She lived in a quiet village with her widowed stepmother and stepsister Bawang Merah. Sadly, her father had died and left her in the care of her stepmother and in company of her stepsister. Bawang Merah was lazy and proud, while Bawang Putih was kind, honest, and hardworking. While Bawang Merah was given everything she wanted by her mother, Bawang Putih was made to do all the chores in the house. However, Bawang Putih never complained. Bawang Putih was treated like a servant by her stepmother and stepsister Bawang Merah. Each morning, they would shout, order her to complete all the housework. Bawang Putih cleaned, cooked, washed all the clothes, and even had the difficult task to look for firewood. If she made any mistake, her stepmother would punish her by not feeding her. One day, while Bawang Putih was washing her clothes by the river, her stepmother's favorite scarf was suddenly swept away by the current. Knowing that she would be punished if she had lost the scarf, Bawang Putih followed the path down the river after the scarf. On and on, she walked until she came upon a cave. The river continued to cave, and at the entrance of the cave stood an old woman. Bawang Putih approached the old lady and asked, "Did you perhaps see a scarf floating down this river?" "Oh, why, yes, dear," the old woman responded. Bawang Putih was thrilled. She may not be punished after all. "But I will only return you the scarf if you help me complete some chores, my dear girl," the old woman continued. The chores were not new to Bawang Putih, as she gladly obliged. She thought to herself how the old woman must be weary with age and would need help. All day, Bawang Putih helped the old woman cook, clean the house, and wash her clothes. Finally, Bawang Putih had completed her chores and it was time to leave for home. The old woman was grateful for Bawang Putih's help and handed her the scarf. But before Bawang Putih could leave, the old woman said, "Bawang Putih, I want to give you a gift. I would like to give you a pumpkin to thank you for helping me. Please choose one." In front of Bawang Putih, the old woman laid two pumpkins, one big and one small. Not being greedy, Bawang Putih chose the small pumpkin so that the old lady could keep the big pumpkin for herself and head it home. When Bawang Putih reached home, her stepmother and Bawang Merah were very angry that she had been gone for the whole day and that dinner had not been prepared. Bawang Putih told them about the old lady and how she was given a pumpkin for helping her. Her stepmother was furious and snatched the pumpkin away from Bawang Putih's hand and smashed it onto the floor. And lo and behold, a slew of gold and jewels come out of the pumpkin. It turns out that the pumpkin was full of treasures. Her stepmother was speechless for a moment, but suddenly turned to Bawang Putih and huffed, "Why did you not pick a larger pumpkin?" Bawang Merah was envious seeing all the gold and jewelry. The next day, the greedy Bawang Merah decided to follow in her stepsister's footsteps. She let her mother's scarf float down the river, followed it in until she found the old woman by the cave. She too went up to the old woman and asked slyly, "Did you see the scarf floating down this river?" Once again, the old woman answered, "Oh yes, I have, dear, but before I can return it to you, would you mind helping me complete some chores?" Bawang Merah, who had never done a chore in her life, hotly replied, "Chores? I'm not here to do your chores. I want the large pumpkin." The old woman was silent. However, she did not argue back and went into the cave and retrieved the large pumpkin and handed it to Bawang Merah. Bawang Merah was thrilled. "I got the larger pumpkin and I didn't have to lift a finger," she proudly thought to herself. She brought home the large pumpkin together with her mother, and they smashed it onto the floor, expecting to see gold and jewels. But, to their horror, the pumpkin was filled with snakes, centipedes, scorpions, spiders. "Ah! What is this? Where's the gold? Where are all the jewelries?" the pair screamed. "Ow! Ow! It hurts! Ow! Ow! Ouch! Mom! Ouch! What should we do, Mom?" "Run before we get bitten by these creatures," the mother screamed. They ran away deep into the forest, but the animal gave chase, snapping and lunging at the two of them every step of the way. Both mother and daughter ran as fast as they could, never to be seen again. Putih was finally free from the evil hands of her stepmother, step-evil sister, and with the gift of the gold and jewels from the old lady, she was able to live comfortably and happily ever after. The end. So yes, that is the end of the road of this story. Let me know if you like to hear more of these stories. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.